Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. So in today's video, we are going to be going over the absolute best classes in MapleStory right now. Now, before we get into this video, I do want to make a point that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you personally enjoy your class. It doesn't matter how much damage your class does or how much support your class does. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that you enjoy playing the class that you main. So keep that in mind when watching this video. Don't think, oh, I need to completely delete my character, remake my character, and start a new main completely. That is not what this video is for. This video is just to give some information on the absolute best classes in the game currently, in case a new player is trying to figure out a new main to play, or if somebody is potentially thinking of making a new main or a new second main. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. This video is going to be cut into two parts. One is going to be the top 5 best DPM classes in the game, and the second part is going to be the top 5 support classes in the game currently right now. Obviously, things are subject to change, and they most definitely will change in the future. Major updates can always change metas and shift what class is good and what class is bad. A great example of this is Arc. Arc used to be one of the worst classes in the game, and now it's one of the best classes in the game. So again, when watching this video, understand that these are not permanent spots for these classes, and the best classes may become the worst classes, and the worst classes may become the best classes. But with that being said, let's get into the best damage outputting classes in the game. So as a lot of you guys may know and probably see with the current players today, Nightwalker is going to be the absolute best damage outputting class in the game. Not only does this class have an extremely good kit for movement, survivability, and overall having lifesteal, having its own door, but this class also has the absolute objective best damage output in the game. And it's probably the strongest class in the game by about 20 FD on the next best class. So if you are thinking of making an extremely strong class, obviously, as you guys probably know, Nightwalker is going to be your #1 pick. So after Nightwalker, we're going to start talking about Arc. Now, Arc is an interesting class because this was one of the worst classes in the game for a period of time. This used to be a 4-minute class, and then it got shifted into a 2-minute class, and then it ended up getting a few buffs, putting it in one of the best classes in the game currently. This is a 2-minute class, but it also does 3-minute damage. This class also does offer a bit of support as well. It offers about 7 FD to the party and also gives more FD to archer classes as well. This class has one of the absolute best origins in the game, and the survivability on this class is very good as well. The movement is also extremely good, and it does have a lot of versatility, and it is a very unique class. So if you're again looking for a damage outputting class, Arc is one of the heaviest hitters out there. Moving on from Arc, we're going to talk about Mercedes. Now, Mercedes is a very interesting class because a lot of people know that Mercedes is a strong class, but not a lot of people play it. And I feel like not a lot of people play this class because they think that it may be a little bit too complicated for them and the comboing might not be their style. And as that may be true for a lot of people, nonetheless, this class does extremely strong damage. It's also offering 5 FD to the party as well, and Mercedes also did just recently get a buff to its origin, which is absolutely insane considering how strong this class was already before those origin changes. Mercedes has one of the strongest 3-minute bursts in the game and one of the quickest damage outputting bursts in the game, so it's very consistent when you are doing party bossing. A lot of times when you are bossing with friends, things can happen inside that boss that skew your burst or screw up what happens, but when you have such a fast damage outputting class like Mercedes, it can be very, very, very consistent for a lot of people. So if you do enjoy the comboing aspect and if you do enjoy that difficulty of a class, Mercedes probably will definitely be the class for you. Moving on from Mercedes, we're going to talk about Kayn. Now, Kayn is a relatively newer class in the game and definitely a class that is starting to have a lot of light shine on it. Not a lot of people played Kayn when it first came out, but I think a lot more people are going to start to play this class after the 6-job origin had come out on this class. Kayn has probably one of the strongest origins in the game. It's actually extremely surprising how strong this origin is, if you guys don't know, we have been doing a lot of 35-second BA testing on our stream from a lot of people in this stream who come on, test for 35 seconds, and Kayn was one of the strongest classes out there, hands down. This Origin does so much damage. The only thing with this class is that it can be a little bit of a learning curve for a lot of people. This class does have a bit of unique playstyle when it comes to it, so if that is something that you are interested in and Kayn is a class that you are potentially thinking of maining, I highly recommend playing this class if you want to do a lot of damage. Definitely one of the best out there, hands down. And finishing up the top damage outputting classes, we're going to be talking about Hou-Young. Now, Hou-Young is a class that a lot of people know is very strong, but a lot of people are turned off from playing this class because of the unique playstyle that comes with this class. This class is a gauge class, and there are a bit of things that you do have to micromanage, and that can be a bit difficult for people, but the reward for playing this class extremely well is very high. This class has a very unique kit when it comes to its mobility and its versatility inside of bosses. This class has one of the heaviest hitting bursts in the game. The only thing that I would say if you are potentially thinking of making this class is understanding that there is a bit of learning curve that will come with playing this class, and if you do not play it optimally, you will definitely be punished for that. So now that we've kind of finished up all of the damage dealing classes, I want to give you my thoughts on what I would recommend for a newer player or for anybody out there who is potentially thinking of maybe picking up a second main or potentially wanting to make a new main. Nightwalker is hands down going to probably be the easiest class to pick up out of all of these classes, and without a doubt it's doing the highest amount of damage out of all of these by a landslide. It's not even close. This class is extremely strong. So if you're going to want an easier class to play out of these 5, I would definitely pick up Nightwalker. Now, if you're looking for a class that is a little bit more unique and a class that maybe has a bit of a learning curve, I would definitely think about playing Mercedes and Hou-Young. These are the 2 classes in the game that if I were to start a new main, these would definitely be the 2 classes that I would pick up or potentially think of making. These classes do extremely high damage, but they also have a very unique kit and they have a very high learning curve, and you will definitely not be disappointed with the damage output that any of these classes on this list are doing. So we've finished up with the damage dealing classes. Let's talk about the support classes. Now, obviously, support in MapleStory is probably the most important thing when it comes to party bossing, and is definitely needed to clear any end game content or even any mid game content if you're trying to clear it earlier on. So let's get into that list. So starting off with number 1, we're going to be talking about Bishop. I know everybody here probably knows how OP and overtuned Bishop is. This class does a ton of damage for how much support it does. It's actually one of the strongest classes in the game, but not only that, it is objectively the best support in the game. This class has healing capabilities. It can give everybody in the party door, and not only all of that, but it is giving 80% final damage on burst, which is absolutely insane. It's almost doubling your damage. To put it into perspective, it is almost taking your party of 6 and making it a party of 12. This class does also offer a ton of IED debuffs. This gives everybody a lot of versatility in the way that they want to set up their gear, hypers, links, and be able to scale down their IED when bossing with a Bishop. So if you are thinking about making a support class and you want to make one of the best in the game, Bishop hands down is that class for you. Now, moving on from Bishop, we're going to talk about Dawn Warrior. Now, Dawn Warrior is another class that is pretty strong as a support, but it's nowhere near as strong as Bishop. Recently, Dawn Warrior had a change fixed where the Origin was no longer cancelable in boss fights, and it scaled down the damage that Dawn Warrior did by a slight amount, but nonetheless, this class is still extremely strong in the damage that it does, and this class is offering a debuff called True Sight on the party that is giving 15% final damage permanently to everybody. If you're looking for a class that has a little bit more of an easier learning curve, I would definitely go with Dawn Warrior. This class does have a little bit of versatility to it as well. It does have a few iframes, a few dash and movement skills, but overall this class is very easy to pick up and learn. Now, moving on from Dawn Warrior, one of my favorite supports in the game is going to be Battle Mage. This class is a lot less popular, and I don't really know why. This class is extremely strong, one of the best damage output supports in the game, and the movement on this class is extremely good as well. But not only all of that, BAM is also offering 21% final damage permanently to the entire party. So if you're potentially thinking of making a support class, Battle Mage would be an extremely good option. There are not a lot of Battle Mages in the server, so you will definitely be sought after by almost everybody in the server at the mid game, late game, and end game level for party play. Moving on from Battle Mage is everybody's favorite class, Kana. Now, Kana is potentially getting some new changes. We don't really know yet for sure, so I'm not really going to touch on those as of right now, but I'm just going to talk about what we know currently right now. Kana is a very, very, very good class. This class has a ton of versatility, and this class has an extremely good kit as well. It avoids a lot of mechanics inside of bosses, and it ignores a lot of abnormal statuses. Not only that, but this class has an extremely strong origin burst. Its off origin burst is a bit underwhelming, but Kana may be getting its 3-minute burst boosted in the future, so we have to hold to see what those numbers will look like. But as of right now, Kana is essentially giving 18% final damage on burst. Now, not only that, but this class does also offer a 15-second bind, which in bosses like Sea Kalos and Extreme Saren, those extra 5 seconds where the boss is bound gives a world of a difference when it comes to party play and burst meta. So if you're thinking about potentially making a support class, Kana is a very, very good option. And last but not least is going to be Mechanic. Now, Mechanic is a bit of a unique support and definitely one of the most underplayed supports in the game. This class does not have the strongest burst, but it has extremely, extremely strong DPM. Now, the unique thing about Mech is that it does actually stack with Dawn Warrior or with BAM. Now, the problem with Dawn Warrior and Battle Mage is that Dawn Warrior and Battle Mage in a party will not stack together, but Mechanic will. So Mechanic is one of those classes that can fill almost any party comp, and its support is still going to be very useful. Now, with that being said, Mechanic is going to be offering 12% final damage permanently to the entire party. So this is definitely a very good class to potentially second main or even to main. Now, all these classes on this list for support are very, very, very good, but like I did for the damage dealing classes, I'm going to give you my top recommendations on what classes I personally would main if I were going to be making a support class. So obviously, hands down, it's not even a question, Bishop is the best support in the game. It's giving 80% final damage on burst. Not only that, the damage and the support and utility that it gives to the whole party is just unmatched by any support, and it's not even close. So if you are potentially thinking of making a support, I would highly recommend making a Bishop. If you didn't want to make Bishop as a support class, the second option that I would 100% recommend is going to be Battle Mage. This class's damage is insane. The mobility is insane. The way that this class looks is so cool, and the uniqueness of this class is unmatched by any other of these supports. There's also not a ton of Battle Mages on the server as well. So if you are trying to find a support that is going to be sought after in a ton of parties, I would highly recommend Battle Mage. Now, like I said, for the damage dealing list, any of these classes in the support list are 100% valid to make, and all of them are extremely useful in MapleStory, but those are just my top 2 recommendations from the support. So we are for now finished with the absolute best classes in MapleStory. I just want to make a point at the end of this video. This is my opinion, but this is also based off of just objective data that we do have on these classes. These are some of the strongest classes in the game, and these are some of the best support classes in the game. Now, like I said earlier in the video, play what you want. It doesn't matter if you're playing the strongest class in the game or the weakest class in the game. The most important thing in MapleStory is that you're having fun and you're enjoying your time while playing these classes. So don't let this list deter you from having fun or enjoying your class. I don't play any of these classes on this list, but if you are potentially looking to make a new main or potentially coming back to the game, these are the 10 classes that I would absolutely recommend to any player in MapleStory. With that being said, that is going to finish off this video for today. I hope you guys did all enjoy the video for today, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.